welcome back once again. Another edition of Kreager's Corner. Here we are with our second edition, and I'm with the man himself, Tom Kreager. Tom, how you doing?
Doing well, Stork. How are you?
I'm doing well, so let's jump right into it. You were at Riverdale Friday night, but let's start off with a different topic and just kind of talk.
biggest game of the state, maybe.
Was the Riverdale game?
No, this other one.
Oh, okay. I'm just
Okay.
all right. Blackman's big comeback. Talk a little bit about it. 49-14. At one point, about 11 minutes left to go, and then they come back and they beat Indy 43-42. Take it from there.
It's 42-14, and I'm getting my Twitter's blowing up. I'm at Tomahawk Stadium. Twitter's blowing up, saying they're getting beat. I had confirmed with people, was this score correct? Because I didn't believe it. And confirmed it. I thought, man, I remember tweeting, major upset alert. Posted the score, Independence 42, Blackman 14, third quarter. And it was like fourth quarter, 11 minutes, I think, when they scored that last touchdown to get up 28 points. And then all of a sudden, the magic happened.
And you're trying to write a story, follow the game, but still try to keep up with this game.
I'm basically watching two games unfold, one on social media and one in front of my face. And let's be honest, we'll talk about it in a little bit. The Riverdale-Hendersonville one was back and forth too. It was a really good game as well. You had two state-ranked teams. Riverdale ended up winning it. Scored last. It was one of those who had the ball last was going to win. It was a great game. And here on Twitter, my Twitter's blowing up. All of a sudden this comeback comes, and Jawan Jennings started throwing touchdown passes, and then they got it down to 2 scores, and with I think 5 minutes left, maybe, or 3 minutes left, and they got the ball back, scored again, and they had a couple minutes left in the game, and they scored in the. They needed a defensive stop, and Jawan comes with a big play, knocks the ball loose, I think it was, and he makes the big play, gets the ball back. With just a couple minutes left, they got near, I think, midfield, and went straight down there, and they score, and then they go for 2 and get the win. And it's amazing. I was looking on my Twitter analytics. I was telling some people.
Have you had a chance to see the video?
I have not seen the video, which I got to talk to Shad about that. I mean, have not seen any video highlights, but it was just on watching it unfold on Twitter. It seemed a special night. I don't think Coach Shad.
Because years ago, we would try to text the scores, and you had to go through and punch the numbers, and you have to type it all out, and we would do that, and be at different places, and you had to have monitors. But with that
Twitter,
type of
with Twitter and stuff, it was just amazing how people just went crazy, and some people I know I talked to some fanatics that was like he went to bed thinking that they got beat, and he woke up and found out they won. And Coach Shad Owens was saying, I know a lot of people left when it was 42-14. He goes, I don't know if any of those guys were allowed to come back in. I mean, it may have been the greatest comeback of what we'll see this season, maybe in the last 5 seasons. I mean, I can't think of a better comeback. Down 28 points with about 11 minutes left in the game.
I think he was down 21 to Brentwood that one time in 09 with Tyreek.
It was like 20. I think it was 21.
And they brought that one back out. He's done a couple of these.
Yeah, and I mentioned it in my follow-up that I asked him. He said it was a little similar to that, just the way they came back like that. And they played without 4 starters in that game, and they've got Caleb LaFleur, an offensive lineman who plays a little bit on the defensive line. He's out kind of nursing a MCL, similar to what Jack Jones had beginning of the season. He's out probably this week against Laverne too. They had a linebacker that was out, and they had a tight end that was out. I think Coach Shad Owens told me they ended up having their backup to LaFleur was either out or was only playing defense, and they did not want him playing both ways. I think it was the Shanklin kid. I think they wanted to play him maybe both. I think he just wanted to play him on defense. So they ended up having like a third string. He said, he's ended up having their number 7 lineman in the game is just a smaller guy, and he said that was kind of an adventure for a while too. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't think they ran the ball as well as they did, just because they had more of an inexperienced guy in the lineup there. And I think that was a night where I think Jawan Jennings showed the world that he can throw the football. 369 yards, I think 4 or 5 touchdown passes. I mean, he kind of. I saw a highlight. I did see a couple highlights off of Williams and Harold had some video highlights where he kind of rolled to his left and threw one down and led Quinn Hardy perfectly. Quinn pulled in a big pass. I think Quinn had 11 catches in that game. Quinn Hardy had a big touchdown there. I think Ronnie had a great catch on that little drag route. They just started, everything kind of clicked finally, and they pulled off the big win. And, you know, sometimes you think that a loss like that would have...
Where are they? That's the question. Yeah. I mean, we can go on and on about the game, Tom. Where are they?
I think they're in really good position right now. Right there, they learned, one, they can find a way to win when they're not 100%. But more importantly, I think they learn a lesson of, if we don't play our best, we can be beat, and it's going to take almost a miracle to win if we don't play our best. I think you'll see a different, and I think they needed that. I've seen on social media with fans and, you know, and I think there's been an overconfidence among the program, among the kids, and maybe even administration. I think that win, I think that kind of woke them up to, guys, we can't take any win for granted. And I think that was probably...
I mean, they got beat by Maryville, and they got it handed to them when we went there. So, I mean, if they do not do what they're supposed to do, they will get it handed to them.
Yeah. But I think the one thing is one of the things I take out of it is just the emergence of Jawan Jennings at quarterback. He showed me that he can throw the football. He's a lot better person in the pocket. He can still take off and run, but he showed me he can be in a pocket and be effective throwing the ball over the field. I think that's something that we can take out of that. Another thing we got to take out of that, the reason why they almost got beat, they threw for over 400 yards, and that's something that tells us the secondary needs to wake up. And one thing Coach Chad said, they tackled horribly. So a lot of them were quick passes. They have got to tackle. And I bet you that's something that Coach David Watson, the defensive coordinator, really hits home this week is, guys, we cannot just go through the motions. You've got to wrap up and tackle.
Well, the main thing is, and let's close it out with Blackman, but Jennings, he wants to play quarterback. And he is a quarterback. So wherever he goes,
he's going to be a quarterback.
I mean, let's just go ahead and just archive it today that no matter what gives in the model, Jennings will play quarterback somewhere at some college with some emblem and some colors.
And he is determined, and in talking to the Tennessee coaches, that they have recruited him as a quarterback. And looking at who they lose,
so you're going on the record to say that.
I've been told that they have reiterated he is being recruited at the University of Tennessee. He was offered as a quarterback.
All right, let's just end up with that.
We can
go on and on. I mean, he is who he is. I mean, but fine football player, fine basketball player. He is, and I know he hates to say this, and he hates to say.
You're gonna say the A word.
Yeah, but you know what?
He said it, Jawan, if you're listening.
Hey, listen.
Say it. Go ahead and say it.
I mean, no, listen.
I'm gonna cringe.
But, you know, hey, Sonny Gray, athlete. Rod Wilkes, athlete. There's some kids that are labeled with that term.
Jawan
Jennings. He's an athlete. It doesn't mean they see things that maybe he can do, and but let's end it there.
Okay.
So you were at Riverdale. Let's talk a little bit about the Warriors. Where are they? Because I talked to Ron yesterday, and
what did Ron tell you?
I mean, he talked a lot about.
Was it a longer show for you than last week?
Well, yeah.
He didn't have any pressing matters.
No. Ron is great. Ron is great to talk to because Ron's going to tell you like it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's old school.
Well, and I mean, he does a lot of accountability. That's one of the things I like about Coach A-Lot's show is he is all about accountability. He'll tell you it's their season, it's their deal. I'm going to try to guide you through it and give you the compass, and he's more of that type of style that he just lays it out there. You know, if you fall and stump your knee at the playground, that is your problem. You know, he's going to empathize, but he's not going to sympathize. I think that's a good description of Coach A-Lot. But all in all, I think his synopsis was he felt pretty confident. He had the game at certain points, and then it kind of unraveled, and then he got it. He was able to get it.
Did he talk about what happened at the end of the first half?
No, but I think he sounded. I think he just sounded all through the whole interview. It sounded like even though that the game was, like you said, kind of a back and forth, I think he felt like that he was confident the Warriors would come out on top. And that's something he hadn't seen in the last couple of years. I think he's getting a more of a grittiness to him.
I think I would agree with a lot of that, and I think if they don't have the special teams blunder at the end of the first half, and he's told me point blank that was on him. They ran out there like they're going to run a play because I think Hendersonville was kind of slow to get out there. If maybe they should have ran it real quick, but Coach Yellow said all along we were never going to run a play there. We were going to punt. So then they move them all out. Move the offense out, put the punt team on. They told the long snapper, once you grab hold of that ball, you can't let go of it or it's a penalty. Once you grab hold, you can't be once you got the ball ready to go when they're all lined up for offense, you can't let go of it. If you let go and all this while they're doing it, that's a penalty. So the guy was holding on to it the whole time. He said that was probably I think he even said they should have called timeout. They should have called timeout because they weren't going to try to fake. They weren't going to do anything there. When they did the swap out there, they should have probably called timeout, regroup, punted the ball away.
Right.
Because right there, they had a bad snap. They got the ball inside, I think, the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, they scored a touchdown. And all of a sudden, it goes from, I want to say it was like 19-7 or something like that to 19-14. And all of a sudden,
they're back in.
They gave them, they're back in. And Hendersonville had the ball start the second half. They come down there, I think, and score. And they took the lead. And from there, it was back and forth. And I think that right there was a big
he said he thought that Riverdale let him back in it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think that's where they let him in it. And I really thought, I think Hendersonville, of course, they went to the state championship a year ago, got throttled by Maryville in a game that, let's be honest, I love Coach Hatfield and all. For the benefit of a weak west half of the playoffs. The left side of the playoffs were really weak last year.
Right.
All the power teams were in the East.
Right.
Let's be honest. Because Whitehaven, White Station were both kind of down. So we had that. So I think that's the one thing I remember. But they're still really good. They were scoring 50 points. I don't care who you're playing. They hadn't played very many good players. They played a lot of jokers, but it's hard to score 50 points a game with the running clock.
The other thing you have to realize is when you are scoring that many points, you're getting a little luck.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a little luck.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like the old home run series with Babe Ruth. Mm-hmm. A lot of strikes, a lot of home runs. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're more of a home run football squad.
Yeah.
But
I would say this about Riverdale. I think that was probably the biggest win they've had since a win in the 2012 season. I think for this team, when you look at what they went through a year ago, they go 4-6, didn't win a game in district play, and now they're 3-0 against non-district after going 0-4. They get Cane Ridge in a couple weeks. They beat Cane Ridge. They go from 0-4 to 4-0.
Try to say this wrong.
And that's the whole key to their success.
Could be 7-3. You're looking at 7-3, 8-2.
Well, now I think you're looking right now. This is a team. I said at the beginning of the season I thought they'd be 8-2, 7-3 because I didn't know about Hendersonville. This team right now today I think is an 8-2, 9-1 team. I don't think Smyrna gets them. I think this offense is way ahead of where we saw him in this jamboree because I don't think he showed anything in that jamboree.
Well, hold up on them. We'll talk about them in just a second. So let's move on. Talk Patriot football. I talked to Coach McDaniel. I've not had a chance to.
Did he say anything about the midterm grades? Because I know that concerns him a lot.
No, he didn't say anything about the midterm grades.
He had passing grades up. I gave him good grades.
Well,
he got a couple little ones. I give him on curve.
He was a good student in school himself.
I can see that.
All right.
At Bartlett High School.
English major.
He teaches English.
What does Oakland do this week? They're off. They've got a week, and it's kind of a weird thing with them. But he's done it. This will make his 4th time. Talk a little bit about it.
I think this is the week where they have to decide who the quarterback is. He said that after fall break he'll have a quarterback. I think, and I don't know if that means after fall break or before.
What's the old saying?
If you have more than one quarterback, that means you don't have one quarterback. Let's be honest. That's what it's saying. People that say, hey, we've got 2 good quarterbacks. No, if you're saying you have 2 good quarterbacks or 3 good quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. But with that being said, they got the guys. They have good.
And that's not a bad saying. We're just going down traditional line.
I think they've got facilitators. But I think at one point you need to say, all right, guys, by God, it's a minute 50 in the game. We're down a field goal. We got to drive 65 yards and get a score here. Who are we going to put in and direct that team? And right now, today, after the last game I saw him, I don't have a clue who that is. I mean, I think it might be Ja'Cory Smith, but Ja'Cory threw a couple picks against Brentwood. The Miller kid, Cody Miller, had a couple good games. I thought Christian Hafner played really dang good against Blackman to open the season. So they've all looked good in opportunities. It's time, and this is the tough part of the coach. He's got to figure which ones they're gonna lead him. Which one of the three is gonna lead him? I don't know. I think it's probably going to be Ja'Cory Smith. But I'm telling you right now, today, he better have a quarterback for next week, or Baylor's going to beat him. Baylor is a good team. I think they're undefeated today, and they're getting some votes and some national polls. They're not a bad team. It's one of those private schools out of Chattanooga. They're not bad. So that's something you better watch. I mean, that's where I guess you and I probably will be next week.
Well, let's close it out with that. Smyrna Siegel. So where are they? And then again, where is Siegel?
Yeah, 5-1, 1-5. 5-1 Smyrna. Smyrna could be playoff eligible with a win. You get 6 wins. They get that magic number 6. Which, if you're Matt Williams, hey, we get 6
and they
wins.
should be in on paper, and I've seen them play. They should be in.
Well, and they've got some other winnable games if something happened. If something happened, they lost. I think they're still a playoff team. But
couple of parachute games.
At 5-1. They are better than I kind of gave them credit for. There are some pieces. I think their offense is kind of lagging a little bit.
The OK kid, I think he's going to UT this weekend, and I mean, yeah. So I think they've got some.
He's a good-looking athlete on defense and offense. He's
made
some
some
plays
there. He is
an athlete. I mean, he's a wide receiver, defensive back.
All right.
He's a kid that can make some plays defensively. Had a pick 6 against Oakland. I've seen him make some big plays against Laverne, leaping catches. He's a pretty athletic secondary in Laverne. So I think he can
play. He can play. The word on the street is he can play at the next level.
He can play. DJ Williams can play.
He's going to be there.
So I think their secondary is pretty. I think their secondary is pretty good.
All right.
I don't know if DJ's SEC. I think he's a little small, but I mean for that level. But I think they both can play. Their offense has been the question mark. I mean, I know DJ played a little bit of a wildcat against Sycamore. Their quarterback, John Turner's looked pretty good at times. At times, they just kind of struggle a little bit. They've been some sluggish. They haven't been consistent. And I think
maybe he's growing with the team.
He's growing as they're growing with the new offense. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's a brand new offense, brand new for him and everything. And he's just a sophomore, but for a sophomore, he's played pretty well as a sophomore, I'd say.
Well, they're going to have some telltale games here toward the end. But then let's move on to Siegel.
Siegel 1-5, big win for them to get that win.
Glad to see them get it. They need it.
They needed a big win to play pretty good against Beach. And I think it shows you how tough their schedule was. I mean, their first 5 games.
Brutal.
I mean, rank opponent. I mean, it was every team in the
it was a car wash of just athletes that you're playing against.
Yeah. But let's go back. One, you had a bad playoff system, and I hate to say it, Coach Wyatt and Siegel had picked a bad year to be really good. The year when Stockstill and them were just crushing people and they were mercy rolling everyone, that was your contract year. So now all of a sudden they were going by when you mercy roll like 7 out of your 10 games, all of a sudden people are like, man, you beat the snot out of people. Why would I want to play you?
Well,
and they can't see, I'm losing my quarterback, I'm losing my receiver, I'm losing my linebacker.
They got bankrupt a little bit. And it's not to say any of those kids, and we're talking about bankrupt on experience. We're talking about Friday night
they lost
experience.
Very good players.
Yeah, and we're talking about Friday night guys. Yeah. And we're not trying to be rude, but when you've not done Friday night lights and really been out there, I mean, the guys that are going on to the next level because the game's playing really slow for them. But there's some guys that are still able to make a lot of plays and end up going D2, NAIA, JUCO, whatever. So
but I think they were so good a couple years ago. Then they had to have that. No one wanted to play them around here because I'll be honest. I'll say it right here on the air. There's a bunch of cowards in Middle Tennessee and the whole state of Tennessee. When you had
the playoff system, the playoff system ruined.
Yeah, the playoff system when you had to schedule wins showed the cowards that a lot of people are when teams will drive past Rutherford County. Let me get on my soapbox for a split second. When people would drive past Blackman, Oakland, Siegel, Riverdale, and drive down to Chattanooga, when these guys are offering games just to play against a 5A Cleveland or a 5A Ooltewah or a Ray County, or fill in the blank, whoever it is, it shows you who they are. So, and those people cannot complain about gas prices when you have a chance to go from Wilson County to Rutherford or Sumner to Rutherford, that's a lot quicker trip. Hendersonville went clear to Germantown, I think, a couple of years.
Well, let's just face it. That part of the model that they talked about, that it was going to save this or drive this or drive that. That part was wrong, and
it was great for the district. They screwed up with the non-district. Well, it was great for district.
And next year, you know what? The system's going to be a little messed up with that piece, and that's another.
Yeah, we'll get on that later. A couple of weeks we'll get with that when we see we may get some enrollment numbers in another week.
Eagleville, let's talk a little bit about them. The Eagles are winless at home, but they've got Fayetteville Friday night.
3-3 overall. They haven't won a game at home. Coach Carson, he lost a lot of experience last year. He's got a really good running back in Cameron.
We just went over that same topic. It's not about replacing the players. It's about replacing them with experience.
And I'll tell you one thing he said, because another thing, last year when they're so good, they were like, they were a torn ACL from potentially getting to the state semifinals. If Chris Hale doesn't tear his ACL, MCL, whatever, everything he tore, they may beat Evansville. I think, because without them, they kept it close. They kept it real close. So what I'm saying is,
coaching is there.
But even with all that success they had people deciding to leave last year. They had people say, well, I want to focus on baseball, which is great. Hey, if you want to be a baseball player, it's fine. If you're at an Eagleville setting, why not play both sports? Why not have fun? But anyway, some people, I'm not saying don't play baseball. I'm saying play it all. But he lost some key starters during the season that were like, whoa, why are you leaving them? And he's had some other guys leave right now. But the Cameron Lawson kid, I think he's a kid that moved in from Georgia. He's having a really good year for them. He'll be a 1,000-yard rusher unless something happens. Their defense is very, very good. Through it all, their defense has been very good. Kent Pippinger has done a great job with that defense. You know him.
I know
from his Smyrna days. He's done a really good job, and it's gonna be a really close game with Fayetteville. I think Fayetteville maybe have a couple more athletes, and that may be the only difference in the game.
Middle Tennessee Christian has a chance to be 7-0, first time in school history. Young football program. When we talk about the longevity of football programs,
young program, veteran team. This is a team that there are a bunch of juniors and seniors on that team, and they took their lumps, played as freshmen and sophomores. The seniors started as a lot of the seniors started as freshmen. A lot of the juniors started as freshmen. So they took their lumps under Coach Stewart there, Brian Stewart. So they took their lumps as they're young, and now they're seasoned juniors and seniors.
You're telling me they play together?
They play together, and they played a lot of football. They took their lumps. They got their bell rung several times, but they played together. And now, they're doing well in the weight room. They're 6-0, first time in school history, of course, 6-0. They got a really good quarterback in Justin Wynn.
They're going to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, 6-0. They're in the playoffs now. They're playing. They're playing for more history. They're playing for home games. They're playing for buys. I think they win against more candidates. I think they're just they're trying to get tuned up. Of course, the Eagleville's a big rivalry. The Eagleville's a good rivalry. They've got a shot to win their first ever district title. And they have a legit shot the way they're playing. The Forest game in Week 9 will be the biggest game for them, I personally believe.
And that's a nice test before you go into playoffs, whether you win it or you lose it, but you need to get up. You need to get that adrenaline flowing and get up. You need that little test before you go in. I love that.
The better the seed, the better. You want to get as good a seed as you can to stay away from some of the powers.
Right. There you go. Yeah. It's there. Let's wrap it up, and let's talk about one thing. I'll give it to you. Won't be long. We have drilled right through this season.
It's gone quick.
I love it.
I don't love it. It just seems like week 2.
Well, you know what I mean? I like it when it's clicking like this. I really do. When you're staying busy, you've got good football. We've had a lot of just good football, but Playoffs. Let's
Playoffs.
Well, let's go. Let's go. Who's in? Who's out right now?
Well, I think
or whatever you want to do. What do you want to throw in?
I want to throw a couple things. All right, who's in? We know Blackman at 6-0 are in. Riverdale, unless they fall off the face of the earth, they're going to be in at 5-1. Smarter's going to be in at 5-1. Oakland's going to be in at 5-1. They're going to get in.
You got your wish. You got 4. Okay. You always want 4.
You always want 4. I'm greedy.
I love to have 5.
I'm greedy. I'll have 5. Grayson School, they're in. When I say 5, I meant 5 and 7 AAA. Because I think that says something. If you get 5 from the same district, you got a shot at least one of them going left.
Well, then
I got a shot at barbecue over Thanksgiving.
Well, and then you've also got the first game probably is going to be one of them's going home.
Yeah.
If you're squeezing in as that 5th candidate, then you're probably the one that's going to play the upper seed of this area.
But let's talk about that. Let's hypothetical. Cookeville.
Okay.
Cookeville's 6-0. Jimmy Maynard has them playing pretty good for their level. When I say they're 6-8, of course, when I say level, I mean 6-0 for who they're playing. Beat the tar out of Lebanon. Scored 60-some points, I think, on Lebanon last week, I believe. They're 6-0.
They're going to draw one of our lower seeds.
Well, no, that's not where I'm going. They play Ray County this week. They beat Ray County. If they beat Ray County this week, and then they get Laverne, I think, week 9. If they win those 2 games, they're going to go 10-0. Let's say they get put in quad 2, where Rutherford County is, at 10-0. Blackman, they're undefeated. They go down to Hoover, a really good team. Hoover's 3-2, but they've lost to 2 really good teams. Let's say they lose that game. They're 9-1. They're district champs. The district champs, so they're going to get seated above everyone else in 7 AAA. But they're 9-1, and Cookeville's 10-0. Who's going to be that number 1 seed, Stuart?
Cookeville. Got to. Because
so number one, Cookeville. Number 2, Blackman. Number 3, it's a good chance it's going to be Oakland or Riverdale, whoever finishes 2nd in 7 AAA. So you could potentially see.
Right out of the gate.
I'm saying right now. Game. No, I think right now, today, I have to look at the TLSA. They haven't been able to provide the wild card criteria. I think there's a chance Cookeville goes east like they did a year ago. There's a good chance that
they're going to play that first game at home, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's a chance they go quad 1, they go to Maryland.
Well, that's fine.
They go Maryland.
I'm not talking about that.
But if they go 10-0, they go in quad 2, second round, they're probably going to play a Riverdale or an Oakland, whoever is probably the 3rd place team, and you're going to see. You're going to see.
If you can win out of that quad, then we possibly could have a Rutherford County team play Maryville early. Is what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could have Oakland versus Blackman, or whoever that second place team. It could be Riverdale, because I think Riverdale's going to give Oakland a really good game in week 9. I think that you could have the 2 first and second team in District 7 AAA play the 2nd round of playoffs. Is what I guess. Okay. That's what I'm trying to get in a very roundabout way. I know I didn't show. I think there's a good chance if Cookeville stays in that quad. There's a good chance if
you have a heater game 2nd round.
You have a heater game 2nd round if Blackman does not beat Hoover, and who knows what's going to happen in that game just yet. I haven't looked at the people there. I just know Hoover's 3-2. But I'm saying that's a game where you would think if Blackman goes 9-1 and run the table in District 7 AAA, they deserve a number 1 seed. Whereas Cookeville's best wins would be over a Ray County 5A team and perhaps a Laverne. That would be their 2 best wins of the season. That's the problem with the playoffs, in case you want to know.
Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
So you're going to see Christian?
Yep. First chance to go see them.
All right. I'm going to Laverne to watch the Blaze and the Wolverines. So if we see us out and about, catch us. And, of course, Tom Kreager with the D&J. At Tom Kreager.
At Kreager. Go on.
At
Kreager on Twitter. At Stork Montgomery here. Make sure Friday morning, go to storkmontgomery.com for his Behind the Lens video style where it'll be 8 minutes of good topics and a good thing. Check it out. It's a way to get pumped up for Friday Night Football.
It's my blog, and it's a whole lot about life and a little bit about football, and I'll see you Friday morning. So this will do it for this edition of Kreager's Corner.
We'll see you guys.